Hi there, Edu Prado here, and today I'm going to make a quick walkthrough of the Light Switch sample library and show you how I use it to play Charlie Puth's new song, Light Switch. Yeah, if you haven't watched the full video, I'm going to leave a link here or below, so check it out and then you can come back and see how I used it. So let's dive into it. So this is the session I used to record all the Light Switch samples and edit and program the instrument. So you have all the samples here, and then I selected the ones I liked best and edit all of them very nice and tight. So here you got all the samples, and these samples are the samples from Light Switches that had a little pitch on them. Cool. So with these I could create like a chromatic instrument, spread them across the keyboard so you could play like a Light Switch marimba, which is kind of a cool sound. So after the samples were all edited, it was just about creating the contact instrument. So I dragged all these samples into like a drum patch. It's the one that comes loaded into the instrument. And you also have the expand option where these samples are spread across the whole keyboard so you can play it. The user interface is pretty straightforward. It's very similar to our Tom Super Bowl library. So if you don't know that one, go check it out. It's a really cool one. So here first you have a space control to add reverb. So you can control the size, level, and pick some very nice impulse responses we've selected. Down here you have a pump knob, which is just a really hard compression, and an envelope control to tweak your attack and release. On this side you have a tape emulation with some tape saturation, a drive knob to add some nice distortion, and your filters, high pass and low pass. After the instrument was done, it was time to try to play the Light Switch song from Charlie Puth. So first I tried to create a very good kick drum sound to build our drums. So I selected from our percussion patch the sample I liked the most for a kick drum sound, and then added a little bit of tape separation, a lot of the pump, some drive, and a cutoff here as well. And of course I added more effects to get the sound that I want. So just the instrument would sound like this. Kinda cool, but not there yet. So on top of that, I added the decapitator with some drum fattener, a little bit of EQ, and controlling like the low mids, an OTT to give us more low end, and quite a bit of compression with the UAD 1176, which I really like. That would be our final kick drum sound. Cool. After we got our kick drum going, it was time to find a nice snare sound. And I did a similar process, also using the percussion patch, adding tape saturation, drive, now cutting a bit of the low end, and pump, and a very similar stack of plugins here. So the raw sound would be like this. With our effects on, kick and snare, nice and punchy with a lot of power. For the hi-hats, I just used some of the higher Light Switch samples. And also down here we have the Light Switch sound effect. So here I'm not using the drive, but I did use the reverb to create a nice space around it. So altogether, our drum is sounding like that. After I got the drum sound going, the next thing was to create a very nice bass. For the bass, I used the expanded version of the Light Switch with some tape saturation, a little bit of drive, lots of the pump, cutting the high end, and of course using the lower range here of the keyboard. It would sound like this. Kind of a cool sound, but still not like powerful bass we will want. But then if we add some OTT, more compression in the EQ. So we get to this. And the final touch for the bass sound here is actually the little outer boy from Soundtoys. It's a really cool plugin. So it's adding some drive and I'm pitching it down an octave. Pretty cool. And then with the drums. Nice. The next thing was to create the melodies and the harmonies. To get that effect on the high melody on the beginning, I automated the low pass filter. I'm using the pump and tape saturation. And of course some space in the expanded patch. So you can see how it opens up as it goes. And then for the chords, also using the expand patch with tape saturation drive, and then actually filtering both low end and high end and pumping quite a bit. Also some effects, but in the end of the chain, I'm using the tremolator to give the tremolo effect. It's gonna act mostly over our reverb tail. Sounding a little bit like a guitar. Down here we have these wah-wah chords, where I'm using the fuzz wah from Air, and also holding back the attack with the transient master. And for the bridge, we have this cool arpeggio going on. So also expand patch, tape saturation, drive, pump, quite a bit of filter, same old stuff. And here I automated the pan to go from left to right. And throughout the song, you would also have some other high melodies and details going on. And this is how our harmony part sounds all together. Cool, so this is an idea how you can use the light switch on your productions. It's a pretty fun instrument, so check it out if you want to take a look at it. There's going to be a link below, and let's hear how it all sounds together. And thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you on the next one.